Okay, sorry for a couple minutes late, but we're ready to go. Welcome to the May 10th Village Board meeting. Nice weather, we're all here to enjoy. We have a lot on the agenda, so as they say on whatever, let's get the show on the road. So I'd like to get started with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Is there anybody here for public comment? Kathleen, come up, introduce yourself, 3 minutes or less.
Hi, my name
You may have to turn the mic on, Kathleen.
You're right. My name is Kathleen, and I'm a village resident, and I'll just speak louder. I'm here to make a comment about what we're calling outdoor dining. And in my opinion, Rhinebeck has indeed and has had outdoor dining for quite a while. There are many restaurants downtown. Terrapin has a lovely patio, even a covered area. Has been there for years, doesn't impede anybody. As a matter of fact, people can still go into his restaurant and find a seat inside because he has his sidewalk, his outdoor dining, not on a sidewalk. And the same can be said for so many other restaurants, like Beale, like all the restaurants that are in the courtyard. Buns has outdoor dining. All the outdoor dining is different. It's not all accessible to the disabled. But there is a plethora of choices. Roy has a lovely patio. Village Pizza has something in the back. It's there. What I'm concerned about is sidewalk dining. The chairs and the tables that are going to be bounced up against a wall with wait staff coming in, coming out. And I know that on a weekday night, it's lovely to meet your neighbors, and you can do that on the sidewalk, even if you're sitting down. But that's not the case on the weekends. During prime time in Rhinebeck, which extends all the time now, it's busy. And it's hard to transverse, it's hard for the residents. And I am a resident of the town, I'm down there a lot, I walk a lot, I don't take up a space in the municipal lot. I can't remember the last time we took up a space in the municipal lot. We walked here tonight, we'll walk home. But I want you to really, really think about the long-term quality of life impact that sidewalk dining has on the people who live here. Not outdoor dining. Outdoor dining is lovely. Sidewalk dining, in my opinion, is not, especially if you do not have the enforcement to really back it up, really make it stick. It's not fair, in my opinion, to people who live here. That's one. Number two, I want to compliment that the oiling of the goose eggs, it was a lovely walk through town. They went through the Lions Park. Who's ever doing that, thank you very much. Great job. I think there was one other thing, but my 3 minutes are probably
Thank you, Kathleen.
Highway Department.
Thank you. Anybody else? John? Three minutes or less, John.
My best. Naturally, Gabby.
We can give them a little bit of instruction.
Good evening, everyone. John Rossi, 53 Violet Place, and my friend and associate, Pastor Camila. I think some of the trustees I know, certainly Trustee Slade, be familiar with Taconic Resources Independence. If you're not, it's a 501c, not-for-profit, and the mission of TRI, Taconic Resources, is to advocate for the disabled. I work there as a volunteer, and I'm going to introduce Patrick, introduce himself.
Good evening, my name is Patrick Miller again. I am the conductor and data management. I've been working there over 33 years. We are here today to support people with disabilities to have the same equal treatment as anybody else in society. However, the outdoor dining. If you have outdoor dining on the sidewalk, you have to be very considerate about the path of travel for the rest of the folks who have wheelchairs, walkers, scooters, and so forth. That need to be accessible for those because it will impede in the path of travel, because it will be inconvenient for those who need to ask for the other patients to move, and it will not be comfortable for them to do that. And when you have outdoor dining, you have to make sure that the tables are fully accessible for the wheelchair clients, and make sure it's the appropriate height for a table. Again, with the table, you have to make sure that the path of travel for those who are not using the dining, who use the normal, everyday sidewalk, need to be accessible, between 5 feet and 8 feet wide. Because if you have any barriers obstructing the path of travel, it'd be very difficult. Basically, you have to think about the outside dining while the table are occupied. Now when the table are empty, and you can make a decision how wide the path of travel going to be. Because of course, when you sit on the table, when you have the waiters or waiter or people on the table talking, it will impede the path of travel. Of course, another thing in the path of travel need to be considered is the cloud pot, the mailbox, the light post, or whatever structure in the path. And I want to make sure that when the decision is made, that needs to be occurred. And I would like, whenever you have the schematics available for the public, I will appreciate to share it with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep, thank you.
Pat, did you ever get up?
I was just going to ask.
Pat, no, you got to come up.
Well, I'm not making.
Come on up. This is a public comment session.
My question is.
And then introduce yourself, Pat, yeah.
Pat Evans, Somers Drive. Item 3 on the agenda is the outdoor dining. Nothing was up in the cloud today. I checked several times. My question is, will there be an ability for the public to comment upon what's presented tonight?
Stay tuned.
Yes.
Yes,
That's all I want, tonight or at a future point?
future point.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Going once, going twice? Public comment session closed. Thank you all. All right. Great lead-in. Josh Kroner is here to represent the chamber and the discussions on sidewalk cafes. Please.
So first, I do want to thank the village for everything you guys have done through the pandemic. Honestly, like as a restaurant, it was devastating, when we had to close, and everything that the village did, Gary and this board, to help us get through this thing, it really was amazing. And, Rhinebeck responds and the way that this whole village came together. I think that so many of the restaurants that are in business now are in business because of your efforts. Honestly, I do. I'm here to represent the businesses of town. You pointed out quite accurately, I have outdoor seating that's not on the sidewalk. I'm not trying to get myself sidewalk seating. I'm not going to seat anybody in my sidewalk. And there are a lot of restaurants that do have the ability, like myself, to seat people out of the sidewalk. But there are a lot of businesses, particularly businesses on Market Street, that have no patios. What's going on now is that there's a completely different dynamic than we used to have. Outdoor dining used to be a nice place to go if you like fresh air while you eat, depending on what your personal tastes are. It's no longer just about that. This is now an issue of safety. And there are many, many customers that I have that have been steadfast regulars, that have been in my bar year after year. I've been in business here now for 19 years, that don't ever come inside anymore and will only come when I have my patio open. And I completely respect that. And, people have to understand their own tolerances. I mean, I quite expect that we're going to have more waves of COVID. I mean, this is really a horrible thing that's happening. And as a restaurant, we really have to be able to cater to our customers and to their needs. And this is the needs of village residents that want to come in. They want to be able to eat at restaurants like Le Petit that has no patio. Samuel's has no patio. There's a lot of places that have no patio. They have no ability to offer that to the village residents and other customers that do want to come in. And they do want to sit down and have their favorite restaurant, but they will never come inside because they will not do that again. Now, I completely understand what you're saying. I mean, for the ADA, we need to be compliant with whatever we do. You can't ignore these facts. And any plan that has to be obtained ultimately is going to have to be within those guidelines, without question. We have to be very aware of all of the concerns that are happening. And I know that we're still working on a lot of the details. I mean, what we're talking about is we're trying to look at deuces, small tables, right up against the wall that will absolutely maximize the amount of thoroughfare left available. As far as enforcement, that has to be part of it. That has to be part of whatever we do. There has to be a plan put in place. This can't just be restaurants do whatever they want to do. I'm advocating for this because I really believe in this village and I believe in all the restaurants. I'm not just looking out for myself. This will hurt my business. If I allow Le Petit to have 2 tables in the front of their restaurant, that's 2 less tables that might come to my patio. But it's not about that. It's about providing people with a choice to eat where they want to eat. And, I really believe that, you guys acted so well to help us. This is something that's not just for the restaurants, this is for the village residents. And, I see there are people here now that are opposed to this. There are a lot of people that want to see this happen. Over 1,000 people signed a petition for this to happen. I do request that we have a public hearing for this, and you will see how many people that are village residents that do support the ability to go eat outside. But, obviously that's something that's going to have to be determined. The plan that we put in place is going to have to be determined. But as always, I love this village. I would never want to hurt the village's character, which has been a huge part of my success. All I want is, I want people to have that option in all the restaurants. The restaurants that have no option for patio. There'll never be a patio at Le Petit. There'll never be a patio at a lot of these restaurants. They don't have that space. The only potential, 4 seats outside for those 4 customers that really want to be able to not sit in a closed air environment. Do you guys have any questions for me about the Chamber's involvement?
One of the big concerns is State Liquor License Authority and the Board of Health. When we were in COVID and we were in a pandemic, we had executive orders that allowed things to happen that would normally not occur.
Well, the fact is that no laws can be broken here. All the businesses that are involved will have to have proper authorization by SLA, Board of Health, and insurances. If we're involved, the chamber that is, we're going to need to be named as additionally insured as well as the village. All of these items are going to have to be taken care of. We're not looking to skate any laws. We're looking to say, how can we make this work so that these businesses that are on Market Street primarily, although this would be something that if you do have the correct right-of-way, you have enough room on your sidewalk, I feel like this should be allowed. What he was saying about the 5 feet, absolutely, that needs to be, that's a law. That the ADA is something that we're not looking to skirt or, go around. If there are restaurants that are not adhering to that, then they would absolutely, in my opinion, should lose their privilege to have any outdoor dining. You know, I've talked to Gary about this, that if people don't follow the rules that are set in place, this is something that has to be a teamwork between businesses involved in the village. And if the restaurants think that they can just do whatever they want to do, then obviously they're going to lose that privilege completely. And I'm completely behind that as well.
Do you have a specific proposal?
You know, we're working with the village. We would like to see, there's a lot of different ideas that have been tossed around. I believe there should be a public hearing. I believe that a public hearing would be the correct way to handle this situation. You are all elected officials of the village, and I believe that the village residents should be able to be given an opportunity to come here and voice their opinion. If the overwhelming opinion of the village is that there shouldn't be these additional seats, and we're not talking about a lot of seats. I mean, we're talking about 4 to 6 seats tops at any restaurant. Only 2 tops, only against the building. But if that's what the village residents ultimately believe, then that's what's going to happen. I mean, I'm advocating for the businesses. And I'm serving on the board of the Chamber of Commerce. You know, as a restaurant owner and as a chef, I've had my head in the sand for the first 14 years I was in business. I worked constantly. And finally, I started to have some free time, and I'm like, you know what? I really need to start to reinvest in my community, and that's why I did that. So now that I'm kind of in this role as an advocate for businesses, I see this as kind of part of my duty. I'm looking out for other restaurants, other businesses like mine, where this has no effect on me whatsoever. This is not going to help me. But I think it's fair. I just think it's fair that their customers have also the ability to eat outside, because I know how important that is for my customers.
So let's talk about the public comment. Anticipating, I'm also a big proponent that we should do this. We should have a public comment section. So I've taken the liberty to look at the calendar to see what's open and available, given the
Everything.
usage of this room. And we have May 23rd open to have a public forum. And I'm asking the board, is that agreeable for, I know Vanessa,
I'll
you're
be
gonna
away.
be gone.
Yeah,
You're not here.
but I agree there should be a public comment session
Yeah.
about this.
My concern is that, again, it's just procedural. I mean, we already passed a resolution that we were giving this to this planning, the master plan committee. And I feel like it's out of our bailiwick in a way.
So I think there's a couple of ways that we can look at this. One, the comprehensive plan is we're not going to have zoning laws in place as a result of the comprehensive plan until, at the very least, and this is a very aggressive schedule, next summer. And so it's most likely that we're going to go through 2 summers, 2022 and 2023, before we have any zoning law changes that are reflective of the work of the comprehensive plan. So one idea is that we have a public hearing, and I agree that we need to hear from the public on this. And we work on a law that can get us through the next 2 years. And then if the comprehensive plan chooses, well, it would be a law, and then if the work of the comprehensive plan results in changing that law, then it results in changing that law. But I think I too, Brant, was really hoping that the comprehensive plan committee could just sort of handle this as part of their work, but in witnessing what it is taking to pull together a comprehensive plan, it's gonna take a minute. And I can speak personally, given what just happened to me a week ago, that COVID is still very much with us. And, I know lots of people, my sister included, who refuse to eat indoors. And I think that as a village, we need to figure out a way to respond to that so every single one of our businesses has the ability to serve the public. And I wholeheartedly agree that what we have done for the past 2 summers is too much, given our experience with it and enforcing it and the chaos that resulted from it. But allowing a couple of tables, 1, 2, 3, depending on how much frontage there is and how wide the table is, I think is an appropriate conversation to have, at least amongst the village and us.
So you made about 6 points, but
Yeah, I know, I picked a lot, sorry.
we're the last group that really should be thinking about this. I think we have no design skills, we don't know what tables should look like, where they should go, what the spacing is and all that stuff. And yet, I mean, there's a provision, I mean, failing the master plan committee, that we can seek input from the planning board, who actually has these skills.
Yeah.
You know, these restaurants have gone through special permit site plan review, and they went through this, you know, special permit as an indoor restaurant.
Yep,
We're making a preference for use. This is all about zoning to me.
yeah. It's similar,
so-
similar to sort of the sidewalk sale.
We have a
provision.
strict sidewalk sale law.
Yeah.
So we need to open the barn door for retailers too,
Yeah,
if we're gonna do this.
yeah,
So right now, they can have like a certain one rack or something. So
Yeah.
we need to open up the floodgates, let them bring, you know, sell their wares out on the sidewalk, because we can't have a use preference. We can't say, oh, if you're an insurance broker, you're at a disadvantage because there's a restaurant here and they can blow it out and have more tables outside. I'm very sensitive about, you know, my family's in the hospitality industry.
yeah.
It's very important to me. I like outdoor dining. I am looking this completely objectively, and I think procedurally this is flawed. I mean, I'll say the same thing, and we can have an open discussion, but I'll say the same thing.
Are we, if we have a public hearing, would the public have access to this plan? Whoever, is the chamber making the plan? Like, who's coming up with the plan? And will that be available publicly prior to the hearing? So that people can come and actually talk about
An
what this
actual,
would actually look like?
Yeah.
And be informed about, you know, is it gonna be 5 feet of clearance? You know, like, let's actually talk about the thing rather than just this abstract idea of outdoor dining, which there are many different interpretations of it, so.
yeah.
I'm also worried,
You should be here for that.
I'm worried there's gonna be a parade of people exiting the planning board if we overrule their work. And I mean, if people went through site plan review, they went through special permit.
Well, obviously, we would engage the planning board in this process. Like, we're not
Well,
passing something
I-
tonight.
I brought it up. I haven't heard anyone else bring it up.
Well, I've been talking to the planning board about this.
No, I mean right now, tonight.
Well, we're not
Well, how
talking
would-
about
how-
a plan right
You
now.
didn't talk about how to integrate them in this.
Yeah, so-
Can I address something? I mean,
Yes.
first of all, I totally, as I understand what you're saying, you know, we have a lot of ideas, but we also want to come up with something, the chamber that is, that's palatable and works with the village. So we want to work with the village and what we come up with. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm not exactly sure how the government works, but you guys make the laws, right? The five of you can make new laws, you can change planning board members, you can do whatever you want to do in terms of how the overall village functions. Is that not correct?
That's true, and what's really true is that if we're arbitrary capricious, if we're whimsical, we have no fact-finding, we have no establishment for the reasons for doing X, Y, and Z, we can be sued.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't.
No, I'm just telling you what, you know, how that, yeah.
But it just seems like the will of the village is what you guys are beholden to ultimately. And that's why I do believe that's important to get input from the village and be able to see, because I speak to people all the time. They have 1,000 signatures that want to do this. You know, and none of them are here tonight.
I get it.
Because they didn't realize that that was necessary.
I mean, I know, we do, we have a representative government, and we have to have findings and facts. I mean, I've been on 5 code rights, you know, like sections of the code, the entire code. I mean, that's just how, you know.
I get it. I mean, I don't know how government works
I know, I'm just-
the way you do, and I would never suggest that I have more knowledge than you.
No,
about-
that's not what I'm
about-
saying. I'm just,
I'm just saying, you know, this is a critical situation that is very time sensitive for the businesses in town,
Yeah.
for the residents of town to be able to have those options. And, you know, this is something that, there's many ways we could do it. I mean, obviously, we've talked about this special event, which would be a Band-Aid, you know, like how we could do it. This is a year, deal with it next year, It's a one-year thing, it's over at the end of the year. We don't have to worry about this being permanent law, we're doing this. This is something that we're saying, okay, we're gonna do it, we set up exactly the way that makes sense for everybody, that we're ADA compliant, that, you know, we make it easy to walk through the village. I mean, obviously, you don't want to have to be running into servers. I mean, there's a lot of issues that we will have to work out. We will have to have specific regulations about this. Businesses that do take advantage of this, if we had this, would be pulled into the rules and regulations of the village and could have their permit pulled at any moment if they violate any of these things, and would have that strictly enforced. That's an option. Another option would be to make a special law, and that's not up to me, you know, like, obviously, I'm advocating for the businesses. I know all of you guys, and that's all I'm trying to do here. I'm just asking you to let the village residents kind of have a say in this, because I know that they really are a lot of people that have talked to me continuously about this. And there are a lot of village residents that are very, very interested in letting this happen because they want to go back to Le Petit. They want to go to these restaurants, but they will not have that option because they will not eat inside. And I agree that that should be an option, that they should have that option. But, I mean, you know, obviously you guys are going to make your decision. I really suggest, though, that we let the public speak about it. I think that it's a big issue that's dividing the community. At least we should have a venue where we can have public comment about this.
So there's a couple ways to address this. Sometimes you write a law, and then you get the public to comment on the law, right? You put due diligence in, you draft a law, and then you work through the law process, you have public hearings on the law, and then you tweak it, amend it, do whatever as you're going through it. The other way is to hear from the public, as Josh represented here, and we suggested also as well, to get their input before you even draft a law, because if the public says this is not something that we want, why would we invest into drafting a law? To address your point, Vanessa, sometimes how do you weigh those two levers that you need to push? I mean, what we talked about was last meeting, they brought a petition forward. That was all grand and glorious. This meeting, they're talking about, here's what we'd like to see, all grand and glorious. The next thing we proposed was, how do we talk to the public and how do we hear from you so to make sure we're hearing your input, and then we can figure out if we need to go forward and how we want to go forward, right, to be able to do this. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's not going to happen on the 23rd. We're going to get input. We're going to have to figure out how to move forward on it, you
I
know.
totally agree, and that's what I've been telling the restaurants involved, is that you're going to have to be patient, because whatever the village comes up with, it's going to be measured and well thought out. And it might take more time than they want.
So are we looking to have a plan to respond to on the 23rd?
That was Vanessa's question, and mine was saying, we have a general idea that we just heard about tonight. We heard two tops, whatever, next to the front of the building,
Maintaining the ADA.
maintaining the ADA, SLA in compliance, Board of Health in compliance, right? We have to figure out how to do the enforcement. So at the 10,000 foot level, we have an idea.
We have a sketch.
Right.
We have a sketch.
And that's what we have today. And we can go draft that up.
I mean,
And
I
we
think
can-
even that would be helpful.
Yeah.
to
We
have
could,
that.
we could go to our engineers and we could say, you know, let's take what we had before. We have the CAD drawings already, they already exist. Remove all of the other stuff,
Remove the doors barriers.
right? And see how many, what we're up against.
What he was saying is two tops hugging the wall, and our drawings from the other
Yeah.
time are closer to,
We're not that, yeah.
we're not there.
We're not that.
So,
I think
but that's sort of like my thing about the design, like,
Right. and
we have a planning board that's supposed to look at that kind of stuff, so, I mean, we can do quick referrals, like, I can read this provision in our zoning code where we can punt things to the planning board for a referral, but I don't want to,
Well, we can also engage a couple members of the planning board in this process with our, engineers. And, we're lucky that we have some very talented people on that board.
Some really savvy people.
And, I think coming up with a thorough proposal that is measured and reflective of the balance of needs that we're trying to sort through here, and then allowing the public to bounce against it. You know, I don't like this, I like that, what if we did this, da, 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 you know, like, I think that would be very helpful. And so I'm, I'm happy to take point on that. And, you know, get together with with a few members of the planning board and our engineers and come up with something, and, you know.
Why don't, can I join you with that?
Sure.
I mean, because of
Yeah.
all the codes stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. We can
I know
also
these
like
people.
engage our lawyer on it as well. I mean, we have a zoning lawyer. And, you know, and like maybe the best spot to sort of think about this is in that sort of sidewalk sale provision. But, yeah, I think that makes sense. And I'm free on May 23rd.
Cool. So, I think where we're at is we're gonna set 23rd. Right, I'd like to make a motion to call a public forum on the 23rd to discuss outdoor cafe, whatever we wanna call it.
Can we call like a full special meeting so we can add something to it?
Sure,
that-
if
okay,
you would
great.
like, you wanna add more business to the meeting?
Yeah, I need to
All right.
at least.
So I'm gonna amend my motion to call for a special meeting on May 23rd. Okay,
Second,
second. Any discussion?
What time?
at 6 PM?
6 o'clock, normal time. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right.
All
Okay,
right, great.
and we'll do our best to come up with a proposal that we think what we know will engage you, will engage engineers, will engage
Yep.
ourselves, and planning board, and we'll try to draft something up. Because the CAD exists, it's not hard to figure out how many tables. I don't think that's a
Yeah, we'll
sketch,
do
but,
whatever you guys need me to do. And thank you very much for your consideration, all of you. I mean, I know that this is a divisive issue, and I'm hoping that at the end of the day, it won't be divisive at all. Because I think that ultimately, we need to just address the concerns that the village has and make it so that everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Can I ask one question? Sure. Okay.
sure.
You read.
Pat, call out yourself, because the people don't know
Okay,
who
Pat
you are.
Evans, Somers Drive. I wasn't going to bring this up, but you brought it up several times about the 1,000 signatures, and I asked this question last meeting. How many local, town, or village
You know,
residents?
actually, they're actually working on that right now. They're trying to sort it out so that they know exactly how many village residents, because they're going to
So
be
to say
invited.
1,000 people is not really accurate, that 1,000 village residents really want this.
I don't know how many. I mean,
Right.
actually, that's not my, I had nothing to do with that. I mean,
I
like, I'm representing the Chamber of Commerce.
I think that, you know, you referenced it, that's
Yeah.
why, I wasn't gonna bring it up, but you referenced it, so
Sure.
I just wanted to
No,
understand.
absolutely. I'm sure it's not 1,000 village signatures, but it might be 400, so,
Okay, thank you.
yeah.
Thank you, Josh.
Anyway, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I
Thank you,
have to
Josh.
get going, but,
Thanks.
thank you for your time and consideration. Speak to you guys soon.
Enjoy your evening.
Thank you, Josh.
All right, Vanessa. All right.
Do you want me to read this resolution, or?
I think you should summarize as best as possible, so everybody knows what we're talking about. All right?
Okay.
Natural resources inventory.
Natural Resources Inventory, otherwise known as the NRI. I am so delighted to be able to announce that this project is finished. It's been over a year's worth of work. We had some excellent technical resources from the Cornell Cooperative Extension, Dutchess County, from Dutchess Land Conservancy, and the Hudson River Estuary Program. We worked jointly with the town of Rhinebeck and also the town of Hyde Park. This was kind of a cohort coming together to work on the natural resources inventories. So what we have now is a set of updated maps of the town and some specifically of the village where relevant. And riding alongside those maps, we have a whole report. I think it's about 180 pages or something, interpreting those maps and really bringing in all the latest data and research having to do with the environment, with climate change, and with our precious natural resources, our drinking water, our biodiversity, our soils. And And I'm really proud of the work that was done. I'm really, really proud. And I'm proud to say Carly Fraccaroli is here. She was on the working group, and Chris Tavener was also such a big help, as was Scout Breslin, Pronto Breslin.
Yeah, she's on
And,
everything.
I know she is. And the other thing I'm really proud of is that we had 40 people, members of the public, submit their nature photography in our call for photos. And we tried to include as many beautiful photographs as possible of this beautiful place where we live to this report. And if you're interested, you can still vote for your favorite photos, and then we're going to give a thank you gift for the top 4 vote getters. We have some nice nature photography books from Oblong to give out. Maybe we'll do that at the June meeting. So that's a bit about the project. Now, what we're doing tonight is passing a resolution to officially adopt it. And then it really becomes a piece of the comprehensive plan update. Typically,
It's like perfect timing.
I know.
You planned it.
I know. So typically an NRI is an addendum to a comprehensive plan, and really will become law as the updated comprehensive plan becomes law, as Lydia was saying, probably next year. So tonight I'd like to make a motion that we pass the resolution adopting the natural resources inventory for the village and town of Rhinebeck.
Second. I beat you.
This is so
Any
great.
discussion?
This is so great, Vanessa.
Quite an undertaking.
I hope you've all had a chance to read,
I'm
at least
sure you've
go
all
through.
read it, right?
Very carefully.
Max.
Yeah.
Wait 1 second. All right, so, and any discussion on the board?
One other comment, the town is also planning to bring the same resolution at their next meeting. So we're kind of moving in tandem.
Will there be a public place so people want to, if they want to access it themselves? Is it posted somewhere?
Yeah, so this will be posted on the website, right by the comprehensive plan, both on the town website and the village website. It's currently up on climatesmartrhinebeck.org. If anybody wants to see it, it's there already on there.
And it will also be merged into the county initiative as they're going
Yeah,
forward. So
right.
They're hiring somebody to host and put up all the maps, so they'll be,
Oh, that'd be great.
yeah.
Right.
Nice.
So we don't think, knock on wood, that we need to invest in creating our own web mapper, like a digital tool for the maps, because word on the street is that Dutchess County will be doing that and drawing together all these data sets from all of the towns and villages that have done NRIs.
Great.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Wait,
No, we're gonna vote, and then I'll take outside comments. I already told her, yeah. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, okay, now we get through that. Now Kathleen.
Very quickly.
Kathleen, introduce yourself, because people don't know who you are.
My
We're
name is
listening.
Kathleen, and I still live in the village. This has to do with Rick's comment. I did go and look at it, very impressive, 178 pages. It is on the cloud. But is there a way to look at it in, God help me, in print with all that paper? Could it be at the library or something that people?
yeah, actually,
Okay.
I do have some budget to get not just the reports printed. We should have a copy at the library, we should have a copy maybe at the Rhinebeck Historical Society,
Here.
and at Village Hall, Town Hall. And I would love for a copy to be at the high school. How cool would that be? We're also going to be printing out some of the maps, large format, and hopefully getting those hung up around Village Hall on these gray walls.
These lovely gray walls.
Because they're really beautiful too, and we should look at them large format.
Thank you, Vanessa. Okay. Lydia, Greenway Grant Resolution.
Yes.
Describe what you're doing.
So in March, I don't know if you remembered, but we voted to apply for the Greenway Grant for $10,000 for the comprehensive plan. Turns out that they need a resolution, not just a vote by the board. So I am asking you to Whereas the Village of Rhinebeck is applying to the Hudson River Valley Greenway for a grant under the Hudson River Valley Greenway Planning Grant Program for an update to the Village of Rhinebeck Comprehensive Plan. Now therefore let it be resolved that the Board of Trustees for the Village of Rhinebeck does hereby approve and endorse the application for a grant under the blah, 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 blah. So I'd like to make a motion to approve this resolution.
Second.
Discussion.
Is there some requirement we have to be part of the Greenway Compact?
We already are. We became
That's
part
what I thought.
of Greenway Compact
Yeah.
in 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And I
this
was
is,
delighted that I figured that out.
and the dollar amount that we're seeking?
We're seeking $10,000.
Right.
I tried to throw you a curveball on that question, so
I know.
you got it.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I was really worried it was going to be like a resolution. Turns out it's a local law, so that helps.
And when would we know?
They run in quarters, and so we'll probably know in June.
These are loaded questions, so just so everybody knows.
I know. Oh, yes, yes. We will probably know in June. It is for $10,000. Fingers crossed.
And this will be used for,
This will be used for the comprehensive plan.
no, but for specifically.
Oh, for the planner, for the
Yes,
comprehensive plan.
Please, thank you.
Yes. Which leads
I'm
us.
sorry, I'm leading you.
You are, which leads us nicely into the next agenda item, but
Right.
I
All
wanted
right.
to say, now that we have passed the NRI, the good folks at the Hudson River Estuary Program said that really tees us up nicely for additional technical assistance. So we could reach back out with them, have a call with them to see if there's any way they could assist with the comp plan,
that would be great.
okay?
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
All right, so let's take a vote.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Very good. Lydia,
Great, thank you.
keep going.
So the next item on the agenda is a brief, the Comprehensive Plan Committee requested that we put out an RFP for a planner, which we did in early April. We did that in March. We received 6 submissions by the deadline of April 1st, and a small subsect of the committee evaluated the responses and quickly narrowed it down to 3. We interviewed 3 companies and quickly narrowed it down to 2, and then the Comprehensive Plan Committee reached an impasse. So I am here to break that stalemate, as is our job. And the 2 final companies are Ty and Bond, and they would work with their subcontractor, Michelle Gregg, who is a very well-known and accomplished planner in the area. And the other company is Nelson Pope and Voorhees, and their main planner is a woman named Bonnie Franson, who is also very well-known in the area. So we are confident that either company could serve us incredibly well. But in general, I am asking tonight to expand Ty and Bond's existing contract with us to cover the scope of services that we will define with them for a planner to help with the comprehensive plan process. They were much more specific in their budget. They can start immediately because of our existing relationship with them. And yeah, I personally was very, very impressed with Michelle. And she is a senior planner, and she will be devoted to the process, whereas at Nelson Pope, we were concerned that their time would be split between 2 people. So I would like to propose a motion. I'm sorry, I'm in brain fog with COVID. I would like to propose a motion to expand Ty and Bond's scope of services with the village to become our planner for the comprehensive plan committee.
Second.
Thank you.
All right, now discussion. Go ahead.
Well, so we had initially allocated $50,000 for this.
So yes, we have $10,000 in this fiscal year, of which we've only spent about $2,500. And we have $50,000 plus hopefully this grant, so $60,000 plus other grant opportunities that we have identified that we will hopefully be applying to. And we believe that that will cover the bulk of what we need to do in the course of the next 18 months. And luckily, 18 months covers more than one fiscal year. So, and as Brant mentioned from the very get-go, this would be a hours?
Time bounded?
Time bound. Oh my
Time
God.
out.
Word
Time
finding
limited.
syndrome.
Yes, thank you. And so, you know, if we need to slow the rate of what people are billing, we can do that. So we will have ultimate control over how much we are spending at any given time.
And if you looked at their proposal, which is not up on the clouds, sorry for that.
I'm sorry
but
for that.
Items 6 and 7 are like $40,000 of the total, which are the last things in terms of the
The
deliverable.
total is just over $80,000.
What is the total for the other bidder?
It was unclear. Their initial proposal was $50,000, but when it became clear during the interviews that we needed more information, that we needed more of their time, they, and this happened with all of them. You know, they all came to us with somewhere in the neighborhood of $50,000, and we had fulsome conversations with them, and they said, oh, you're asking us for more than what we thought you were asking us for. And so Ty and Bond came back with a very tight budget that landed just around $80,000, and Nelson Pope could not do that. And
I have another question, sorry.
yeah, so
Is Nelson Pope an engineering firm?
no,
Because,
planning.
like, because Ty and Bond is going to kind of sub this out, and I'm just, you know, I know the planner might have, you know, more valuable, the planner piece is the important thing.
yeah,
Where you're working directly with a planner, with the Pope, with Nelson
we'll be
Pope,
working directly with Michelle.
and then you're working with an engineer who's going to sub it out to a planner with Ty and Bond. I don't know what the advantage would be to use an engineering company to be
So we're
in the middle of
using,
this.
so we're using like both. It's like so Michelle is our planner, and then Ty and Bond will be doing any of the engineering work that needs to be associated with it, but it will be run by a planner, by
Right.
Michelle. Yeah, we are confident that the quality of work we're gonna get from either company is exactly what we need.
But we don't have a contract, you're not proposing a contract with Michelle.
No, I'm proposing a contract with Ty
With
and
Ty and
Bond
Bond.
because she's Ty and Bond subcontractor. This is the third comprehensive plan that they will have done in this way, third or fourth, over the course of about 10 years.
So,
And excuse me one second, several years ago, when we went out for engineering, I forget how many firms we developed. One of the things that we looked at mostly was, how can we have a firm help us on moving forward with a comprehensive plan study? And we made them come in and give us the pitches of how they would handle it. And again, Ty and Bond came forward with what we thought at the time was the best presentation to be able to help us through that process.
It just seems like the planner, I mean,
I mean, we had.
it seems like it's better to just have a planner, you know, a contract directly with the planner.
well, the one thing I'd say is I'm on the transportation
Subcommittee.
subcommittee.
Yep.
And we realize that we have a number of questions about sidewalks, streets, design, integration of all this stuff together, which I think is probably more engineering than planning. So.
Well, it's
That would be a-
it's both. I mean, at the end of the day, it's always both, right? And like, engineers have planning expertise, planners have engineering it's like, there's a very blurry line between where one person stops and the other person starts. But I very much believe that Michelle is a great planner. And by having the working relationship that she has with Ty and Bond, we're going to get a better overall product. Instead of needing, and that's just where I think we're going to get a better overall product.
Well, one of the key things though was Nelson Pope said, we can't give you a definitive answer on the total cost.
On the budget.
And they want to do a line by line, where you make a proposal, they want to come back and bid it, and, you're stuck with them really, because when you're in that. So where Ty and Bond did the exact opposite. They went through and laid it out in detail, so we know what we're
It's a not to
committed
exceed.
to.
Yeah, it's a not to exceed, and it's also, well, it's not a not to exceed, it's a, this is what you want to do, and this is what we think it's going to cost, and we can rearrange such.
But it is a contract.
Yeah, it is a contract, exactly. And we can have it be a not to exceed contract.
Right, and
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the fact that, so, we also did a little bit of research into how much these things cost for villages our size, and the average comprehensive plan costs somewhere in the neighborhood of about $100,000.
Yeah, I know.
So I think the fact that we got anything under that, yeah, I'm really quite delighted with, for a plan that hasn't been updated in 30 years. Like, this is really, we're starting, not from scratch, but like, we're starting a little bit at the beginning with this.
And again, I'm just gonna get back to the point. We're not doing a total throw out of the comprehensive plan. This is an update to the comprehensive plan.
Right.
There's gonna be a lot of things that get updated, but it was really meant to be updates to very precise items that they're addressing through their comprehensive plan.
Yes, but like, everything that needs to be updated is stuff that hasn't been updated in 30 years.
Right.
I
But-
mean, and maps and schematics and, you know, laws and like all of this kind of stuff. And we need to think through all of the housing questions and like all of this is, the village has changed a lot in 30 years. We're adding a whole new
Yeah.
section to the comprehensive plan on environment because the word environment wasn't mentioned in the previous plan. Climate change, none of it. And so it is an update in that the bones of the current plan are very good, but all of the information in it is out of date. You
But
know,
it is a good plan.
But it's a very good
Very
plan.
good plan.
And it has kept us going for 30 years.
Right.
But we're updating it for a reason.
And it becomes a living document. It really should be. It shouldn't be
Right.
set aside.
And actually,
It should become a living
our
document.
end goal is to have it not only be, you know, a piece of paper, I mean, a booklet that you can hold, but an interactive website as well. So that is our goal, is to have it be a digital as well as a physical plan. So,
Lydia, I just had a technical question. So,
Yeah.
Because we do have a lot of projects with Ty and Bond.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely keep track separately, but will we be paying the subcontractor or will Ty and Bond pay the subcontractor? And will we just pay Ty and Bond?
from what I understand, we would be just paying Ty and Bond,
Okay.
but we can figure that out probably.
Okay, I just,
Yeah.
going into it, just
Yeah.
to set up the account, just
Yeah.
want to make sure I'm clear.
I haven't spoken to Ty and Bond with that level of detail.
Okay, and I'll just need it separated out
Yeah.
in all of their bills.
Yep, exactly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
when we had the surveyor for the Center Street, we paid the surveyor directly. So
Okay, all right, well, maybe
Yeah,
that's,
that's why I
Yeah.
asked, 'cause
Yeah.
okay,
it's a lot of moving parts.
Details we can work on.
yeah.
All right. Any other discussion? We're ready to vote? All in favor of approving the motion to use Time Bond as our comprehensive planner, please say aye.
Yeah,
Aye.
So carried, logjam broke.
Thank you so much, I really appreciate it.
Get to work.
Yep.
again.
And then
When will she start?
hopefully tomorrow. No, the comprehensive plan, I think their next meeting is next week, and so she will be at that meeting.
All right, the next item on the agenda, Lydia, I'll just see, the new fee schedule for building permits.
It is not finalized, so I would like to
That'll
move
be
that
postponed
to May
to the May
23rd.
23rd.
Thank you. And I will make sure it is posted in advance.
All right,
Oh, me again.
you again. Zoning,
You're on a
zoning
tear.
board and planning board appointments.
What?
Are you gonna send a letter or do you want me to for the comprehensive plan?
I'll send it. We have one, I'm going to start with the zoning board. The zoning board had one member's term expire this year. That member, Kevin Curry, was appointed 2 years ago to fill a midterm vacancy. He is requested to stay on. And so I would like, do you want me to do these one at a time?
Yes.
Okay. I would like for the board to reappoint Kevin Curry to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
As we all know, Colton Johnson, after a very full time of service with the village, has chosen to step down from his position on the ZBA. So to fill his position, I propose that we elevate Tim Decker from alternate to full-time ZBA member.
Second.
Sorry, ZBA member.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Okay.
And then Tim Decker is no longer an alternate, so I propose that we appoint a newcomer to this little world, a gentleman named Mark Isserles, who is Shadeen's husband, for those of you who don't know. Mark is an attorney here in the village. His career currently is he's as an arbitrator. He's got really an extraordinary resume. He clerked for Justice Breyer.
Did he really?
He really did. He clerked
I
for
know
Justice
him, and I
Breyer,
didn't
so
even-
he's like one of less than 1,000 people who has clerked for a Supreme Court justice, and he lives right here in our little town.
He's a good squash player, too.
Yeah, very nice guy. He's dedicated to the village, and he's very excited about the possibility of helping to serve on the ZBA. So I would like to appoint him as the new alternate.
Second. Any discussion? All in
He's a
favor,
great
say
guy.
aye.
Aye. All right, the planning board. The planning board had one member's term expire this year. We opened it up to people who may want to apply. No one did. Michael Gee, who is the member of the planning board, he has requested.
No one did, excuse me.
Sorry, Michael
Gee
Gee.
did.
Michael Gee applied for the spot. And he's done a great job on the planning board, and we would like to keep him there. So I would like to, oh, my brain. Don't get COVID. I would,
You want to do it? I'd like to make a motion that we reappoint Michael Gee to the
the planning
planning
board.
board.
Second.
Thank you, Rita. All in favor, say aye.
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 He's a good guy, too.
He's a great guy. Very good with the historic district.
Really good guy.
Now I'm done.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Give your brain a rest.
Thank you.
Rick, park survey.
Okay. I'm going to the TV.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How are you getting there?
I'm getting
Were you
there.
casting to it?
Yeah, no, one of the
Did
back.
Jerry set it up?
Okay. Source, remote.
You're not plugged in, so you got to cast.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
There you go.
To be clear, I'm out of quarantine and I've tested negative. Just in case I'm.
Okay. Let's get the AirPlay fired up over here. Okay. This is just the second part of it. I'll be right with you here.
Sound.
There we go. Yes, choose that device. Come on.
you have to scroll over to get it.
It's over here. Oh, it's so close.
Do we want to move on while you're getting set up?
No, give me 1 sec here.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Okay. Damn, I did it from my phone.
Are you on the same network?
I gotta check. Do a private? Yeah, it's on private.
Or,
All right, go to the next one and I'll get it ready.
All right, you get ready.
Sure.
So we
Sorry,
can
I
go
did
on,
it with
we
my
can go on
phone.
to
It
the
worked
next.
just
Thank
fine.
you, Rick.
There we
All right,
go.
so Martina, let's talk about the trucks, okay?
Yes, so you had previously approved a old truck one from the highway department to be surplused and sent to absolute auction for auction. We have actually received a request to see if they can submit a sealed bid for it. So I am requesting that instead of sending it to auction, that we put out a request for sealed bids for highway truck one. It is a old 2010 GMC pickup truck that is no longer in service for our highway department.
Is there any way we can use it?
All right, so I'm gonna make a motion that we go out for sealed bid for highway truck one. I have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Vanessa. All right.
Are we sure we can't use it?
Yes.
No,
No,
it
it's
was
done.
already junk.
Oh, okay, all right, great.
Yeah, no, it was already approved, as Martina said, to go out to absolute auction
No, I know.
and be sold off to that. So it's nothing that,
Trucks are hard to find these days.
Let's just make sure that we do the bill of sale with as-is and make sure that we cover ourselves.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Karen?
Let's just make sure that we cover ourselves with the bill of sale that says as-is and all of that.
Yes, good point.
So
Who writes up the bill of sale for us?
We can do it.
Okay.
So that
Yeah.
when the door flies off, we're not
Yeah.
responsible for it?
So
Vanessa.
my only concern is, absolute auction, we went to them because they have such a wide network, and we were hoping to get a better pricing point from absolute auction than what we were doing before, because of their network that they use. Having said that, there are some people that have turned up that are interested in it, and I don't know where that will be, If we go out for sealed bid, we could get a lot less or a lot more. We don't have no control once we do that. But it would have to be a public sealed bid, and it would go out to the public. And how many days do we have to keep it up?
How many would you like to keep it up?
Is it run by them, or are we
No, it's
doing
run
this?
by
This would be
us.
This would be us.
It's run by
This would be
us.
Me requesting
Oh, so
bids.
who requested this?
essentially like an RFP.
Oh,
Absolute auction is out of the question on this truck if we move forward. And it's just us running it, and we put an ad in the paper
So we
saying we're
think-
selling a truck.
so are we basically saying that we think we can get a better deal on it than absolute auctions?
Well, that's the question I'm bringing up, proposing here. It's a catch-22 as to whether you're going to be able to get more out of absolute auction or more out of a sealed bid. I have no insight into that process, although that there has been some people who expressed interest in
Purchasing it?
purchasing it.
So,
Correct.
we've had good luck with the sealed bid. People we know sometimes buy it.
Do
Yeah,
we save money by not doing the absolute
Rick,
auctions? Like, is there some fee that we have to pay them?
So for absolute auctions, yes, they take a percentage, but that
Okay.
kind of goes into my next topic. I don't want to use absolute auctions going forward. We'll get there.
Okay.
all right.
Almost there.
Any other discussion?
I just had a question about the utility truck, which is a separate issue, but if we're talking about this stuff.
Which utility truck?
Well, but let's
The
finish,
one at the water deployment.
yeah, well, let's finish this topic first.
That, the old truck?
Stop changing the subject.
Yeah, let's stay on track here, or all right, so, all right, any other discussion on putting truck one out for sealed bid? We have an open, we have a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Very good.
I
All
just
right.
need to know for how long.
Oh,
Till our next monthly meeting, right?
Yeah.
For 10
Yeah.
days.
10 days would be ideal, but
Yeah, just do it for 10 days
10
and then
days.
you can open them and.
We'll make
all
a
right, we're
decision.
gonna amend the motion that we're gonna go out for sealed bid for 10 days for truck number one. Do I have a second?
Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
No?
nope.
We can't,
Yeah,
We don't have to accept that, though.
all right,
want a truck? Do you got $10?
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
okay. Martina, let's keep going.
It's with reserve or without reserve, are we selling it
Right.
with?
Yeah, then
That
we'll just
is-
put that on the sealed bid that the village has the right to
Yeah,
Right.
with
Correct.
reserve, yeah.
Right to refuse.
refuse, yeah.
Right.
So, new discovery here.
Give me one.
We thought we had a great deal, and now we have a better deal.
Do it or do it.
What?
Yes,
Martina, take the floor.
Karen went to a lovely conference and met a man named Frank Henderson who works for Gov Deals, and he came in and presented.
That sounds like a scam.
It sounds like a scam, but
Gov
they're
Deals.
wildly popular, and essentially, they're like an eBay for getting rid of surplus items.
Oh,
And the fee is paid by,
The fee is paid by the buyer, so we
Not
wouldn't
us.
have
Buyers,
to
right.
pay anything to list it. It's very interactive as opposed to absolute auctions. They would come and get the item and just sell it and send us money back, whereas this, I can actually take pictures and communicate with different buyers and actually or view the listing for the auctions. So I am requesting that we switch our surplus items that were previously approved to go to absolute auction and have them go to Gov Deals.
All right, so I'll make the motion. I'd like to make a motion to cancel our absolute auction, which we thought was the best, to go to a possible.
We don't have a contract with absolute auction.
Right. But
Just wanna make sure.
we had approved here to
we
go
did
for it.
vote on it.
So I want to rescind that vote and move to Gov Deals for our process for getting rid of equipment, really. It's not, it's more than just trucks, it's equipment.
Because we had a pretty good-sized list of items that we were getting rid of.
We do.
Yes. I
So
actually
we have
that
to,
list here.
we have to do all, you would do all the work.
So do I have a
Yes, I will.
second first? Do I have a second?
Second,
Thank you, Brant.
yeah.
All right, now we can have discussion.
Does that include the utility truck at the water plant?
Yes, yes
Yes.
it does. It includes anything and everything.
This is like a serious list of stuff that they have here. Wow.
And
Gov
it's
Deals,
national?
yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm looking at something from Missouri right now.
Yes, and that's the other thing, it's all over the country, and it's listed on the internet, so
Anyone want a dump truck from
far
Texas?
and wide, and they actually have a rep that would come out and help me with the process if I needed help, but it kind of gives me more control over the
Yeah.
auction process.
Yeah, sounds great.
Let's give it a try.
Yeah, why not?
You have,
Karen, thank you.
Literally nothing to
Yeah.
lose.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor of rescinding the bid, the option to go to absolute auction and go to government deals, say aye.
hi.
Aye.
So carried. Very good.
Thank you.
Rick, should we keep going?
Okay, keep going. I actually demoed this earlier today.
All right.
No, I
All right, the next item on the agenda is, and this is really more about a discussion than it is anything else right now, because I'd like to get your thought and your opinion on this. I had this wild idea while riding and helping somebody in the lift one day in Village Hall about what would be nice to have a time capsule as you're riding up that lift, and you could actually, as you know, if those who've used the lift, you can stop it at any point, and you can do whatever. Because one of the things I've always been worried about is somebody taking it upon themselves to start writing on the wall, right? And us not having anything. So, having thought about that, I reached out to Frank Lea, who does murals. You've seen, most of you have seen his work, all over. And I said, just informational. I said, Frank, how much does it cost if we were to do something like this? He came back with an estimation of $2,500, and $500 of that includes a demo, right, of what we would see. And, he said, based on average pricing, the square footage is 200 square feet. He usually charges about $10 a square feet, so that's the 2,000. So and the design and the paint is another 500. So his estimate was 500 to do this. And he said he'd love to do a time capsule. And the time capsule would be in two shapes. One is, on the one wall, there's panels as you go up, right? If you remember it. And those panels, if anybody has been to the New World Trade Towers, as you go up, there's these light panels that change as you go up. And each panel would have a different, not a light display, but a painting on it, on these metal panels. And the other two walls would be the time capsule. And he threw out, which I've shared with you all, if you read it, all sorts of ideas about things he would like to include, and it'd be up to us to include. So my question really is there interest here to paint a mural inside the lift to represent a time capsule for the village of Rhinebeck? It's discussion, it's not.
Yeah.
Discussion, yeah. First off, just like practical question, is it lit in there or is it dark when you're?
It's lit.
Okay.
It's not lighted with a light, but it's open up on the top of the half wall, and with the windows and the light, it's
Yeah.
pretty, it's ample lighting, yes.
Yeah.
Good question, that's what I asked.
And then my second question is a bit of a, rhetorical question, which is, what is history and who gets to define what are historical
Well,
figures?
you're not the only one with that question,
Yeah.
because one of the things that we're working on with the comprehensive plan is to make sure that the discussion of Rhinebeck's history is not as Eurocentric as it has been, because people have lived in this area for a lot longer than Europeans have. You know, we have a very diverse history of, you know, slaves and all of the rest of it, enslaved people. And yeah, I mean, that was sort of like where my brain went, was like, are we telling a complete history? And like, what exactly is a complete history, and do we even know what that is?
And it's really up to us, we can decide what
Yeah.
is inside there. And then whether he paints it or we get somebody else to paint it, all right, is open. So it's really about, is there an interest? And if there's interest, we can pursue this and try to come back with a proposal and say, here's what we're suggesting. I did talk to Karen about monies, there is monies available, right, actually in this year's budget plan to be able to do it, but we're gonna be too late to get it done in this year's budget plan, but we also have the same line item in next year's plan to be
We
able to do
also
it.
might be able to, you know, do it through a grant, you know. I mean, to be perfectly honest, like, something like that, I think that would be, I think spending that much money on something that is only seen by a very, very small subsect of the community for 15 seconds, I think perhaps is.
You haven't been in a lift.
It's a slow ride.
I mean, there's also like, you know, just maybe the mural should be about that experience of being disabled, from that point of view. I mean, accessibility,
We can decide,
that could be interesting.
yeah,
Could be interesting.
it's up to us. The first question is, do you want to pursue it? If you want to pursue it, then we can come back with a plan and ideas and we can solicit things. If you don't want to pursue it, fine. I'm not tied
Personally,
either
I
way.
don't want to pursue it right now.
I don't either. I just looked at it that's why I left. You probably figured that out. But you looked, it's columnar or whatever the word is, and you look down and it's kind of shade, you know, it's dark. You can't really see it very well.
Well, it's lighted. When you start up the mural, a
Right.
light comes on the
But
lift.
that's just for that moment when there's a handful of people coming up and,
Yeah, it would only be seen if you were
It's only gonna
riding
see it if
out
you're
of it.
using it.
well, I think it'd be neat if you could kind of look down on it and see it better than I thought.
Well, that would be,
But,
yeah, it's there.
yeah, I don't think it's the best use of our money, but.
Can we keep talking about it and thinking about, I don't know, keep brainstorming? I guess I'm not ready to commit to making a full.
This really was not for a vote tonight. This was like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's an
Are we
interesting,
interested or not?
it's definitely an interesting idea. I mean, I do think that, speaking of your maps, Vanessa, like, it would be nice, we have a lot of blank walls in this building. And it would be nice to have more of, you know, Rhinebeck's history or beauty, you know, on our walls. I do agree that would be a nice thing to add. But I can't think about this.
Did they just painting? I'm not a visual person at all. Did they just paint this room?
no.
No. I know, for some reason
The
the
last
walls
time
look
it
really
was painted
clean.
was about probably 8 years ago.
I think
Really?
they cleared away a lot of the
Yeah, we just-
stuff.
we-
It
Yes.
looks nicer.
We
Yes.
cleaned,
Oh, that's
thank you to the
right.
fire
That's right,
department.
yeah.
The fire department really did a great job of clearing out a lot of the
Okay,
stuff that was there. So you're getting a different visual perspective on it.
maybe that's.
Maybe that's why it seems so nice
You can
and
see
clean.
the walls.
The pool table's been
The fire
moved, all
department-
of
fire
the,
department.
the bar is gone,
busy.
you know, all that stuff that's back there is gone. The extra chairs that we were never using, which are the old wooden chairs, which really belong to the fire department, are all gone. So all of that stuff has been kind of cleaned out.
That's great.
And at one point, what we're planning to do is, underneath that pool table is, you say we have a lot of empty walls, but a lot of that is plaques, history, pictures, and everything that was up here that never got hung back up.
After we painted, like
Yeah,
a decade ago?
yeah.
Right.
Wow, oh, okay,
All those
Right.
years ago.
all right.
Oh my gosh.
So there is a
I
lot of
remember
stuff,
when they were up and I didn't notice.
there is a lot of stuff to go back on the
lot of
wall.
plaques.
Got it.
So there's, in the end, there's really not a lot of, unless they decide they don't, a lot of it, the fire department's gonna go through and say, keep, get rid of, keep, get rid of, keep, get rid of, as well.
Okay, yeah, maybe we could,
All right, enough,
Okay.
let's just table this and, I mean, it was an idea, concept,
yeah.
no.
I think
if you
having
have any ideas?
more art is a great idea in general.
You know, I just thought, you know, it's a slow ride. A nice ride,
Yeah.
but a slow ride.
All right.
All
I got
right,
something.
Rick,
to
are
work-
you
I got-
ready?
I got something to work over here, yes. Okay. So, as I've been working with the highway department, and we've been working to improve the look and the feel of our parks, I've become very interested in what people would like to do with our parks. They seemed a little bit underutilized, and we have had some requests for the uses. So earlier this year, I put out a survey with the board's approval from, it was up on the, it's distributed to the village's email distribution list and a few other folks. So it went out and we received approximately 70 responses, which is not enough as far as I'm concerned.
70?
70, yeah, which we'll come back to. But just apropos of dining and everything, I literally had these two comments come in back to back. We are so fortunate to have this beautiful property in our town, but an update needs to happen to really be able to enjoy this amazing land. Thank you from a lifelong Rhinebeck community member. That's comment 26, comment 27. Why can't you just leave things well enough alone? Must everything change to accommodate city people? So as with, literally back to back. So as with,
And there we have it.
and there we have it, yes, and I thought that was really a wonderful crystallization of the situation. Literally back to back. So one of the things that I really wanted to do is take the time and look at people's comments. First, we'll just do a little details. Most of the people live in the village of Rhinebeck. The people who responded live in the village of Rhinebeck. Mostly people walk, which I thought was interesting.
And we're specifically talking about Crystal,
We're talking about, well, we can do a little definition here. There are
Okay.
really, if we can use an overall definition of Crystal Lake Park, which is really made up of the Legion Park.
right, and
Which
then
is.
the Rockefeller
And the
Park.
Rockefeller section, and,
Okay.
and we do break that
Okay.
down in a moment.
Okay.
So, most folks, people walk, few people bicycle.
Or the people that cared enough about the survey.
Care enough,
tend to
yes,
walk.
and that's why we need to.
Yeah.
We could probably fold something like this in the comprehensive plan.
Yeah, put it in there. So, and then I was just curious, we do have accessible parking spaces. How many people use accessible parking space? And it's just about almost a quarter. And then I was curious, I'm not a pet owner myself, but I see people with pets and I didn't know how much of an attraction it was for people to bring their pets. But if you can see, slightly over half the people don't bring their pets, which I thought was very interesting because I've been thinking about attractions for pets. So this is a word cloud, which Microsoft generates. There was an open-ended question. Open-ended questions are asked, what would you like to see at the park? And this is in the Rockefeller section. And by far, the largest question was for picnic tables, for better picnic tables. And there were, in the comments, a fair amount of comments about how the old ones are run down, there's not enough, there should be some seating. I thought those are really nice.
But you want to lead in
nice
with what we
sections.
just did a while ago?
Right.
Not knowing this?
Not knowing. So recently, because the landlord of the CVS property, which is not CVS, will not let us use the front park or the front area for seating anymore. Rhinebeck Responds was kind enough to donate those tables to us, and we've now taken those tables and put them out at Rockefeller and the Asher sections of the park. So we do have some new picnic tables, and as I drive by there, they seem to be pretty well frequented already.
Good.
Yeah. So on the section, the other section, again, in the Legion Park Asher Dam section, once again, picnic tables were the kind of number one item. I thought this is really kind of an interesting graph. Basically, people are asked to rate from highest to lowest what they would like. And you can see the spread, picnic tables, and this is in the Rockefeller Lane section, better kayak and canoe access, more trees, a drinking fountain, playground equipment seems to shift. At that point, we get to below the more people want it than, people don't want it than want it. Passive recreation remains pretty popular, parking, and interestingly, I thought people would like a dog bowl for water for dogs, but they don't.
They just drink from the lake?
Yeah, it's a drink from the lake, it's true. So this is the same section, same questions, a little bit different for the Asher Legion Park, and included in this was the refurbishment of the World War I memorial. And we did get several comments, direct comments, that structure really is not a credit, or currently is not a credit to the village, and it would be really nice to have that spruced up and have it become more of a focal point. Also, the issue of sidewalks leading into the park was clearly an issue. People said that was a deterrent for them to come in. Some people, again, picnic tables, music concerts. There were a number of comments that it would be nice to connect the Asher Dam, Legion Park to the other, to the Rockefeller section.
So you could walk
somehow.
around?
So you could walk around.
That'd be
There were
lovely.
several questions about that.
Well, you can't walk all the way around.
No, I know. But
No,
like,
you could walk.
Between the two.
You could walk.
Yeah,
There is
between the two.
Yeah, make it more convenient. So, just my quick conclusions. I had a couple high-level takeaways. First of all, I'd like to continue to engage people, and so that will be ongoing over the summer. A number of comments were very clear, and I thought they were very good, that the Rockefeller section, which is nestled in amongst people's homes, really should be maintained for passive, quiet activities. That's not a place for concerts. It's not a place for a playground. It's
So
really.
we shouldn't build a bandstand there,
We
is
should
what
not
you're
build,
saying?
should not build a bandstand in that section. And that was really clear in folks' comments that there should be different uses for the different sections of the park. And it seemed to be very clear that having a quiet area for seating, picnicking, relaxation was very important, and Rockefeller would be the best place to do it. People want more picnic tables and parking, that was in the comments. The sidewalks need improving, and there were general comments that the park maintenance just needs to be improved. We need to clean them more frequently, pick up the branches that fall down, and also the landscaping needs to be improved over time. And again, this is generated out of comments. Other items that I would like to continue to discuss with people are the better access between the two parts of the park. Restoration of the World War I memorial. Clearly, a number of people felt pretty strongly about that. That was good. And then if there should be activities at the Legion, Asher area, we have had a request for music, discussion about having some music down there. And that could be a nice place to gather for village or village-wide events. And the other thing that it really occurred to me as I was doing this and reading the comments was, we're not going to do anything radical. We're going to do this slowly and piecemeal, because once again, people have very strong opinions, and whatever we do, it's going to take some time to roll it in. So people aren't going to be shocked by a new set of changes that come into the park, but I'd like to see continued improvement. So that is the
What is that?
slideshow. And I guess what I'd like to say is I'm going to continue to reach out to people I know who are connected to folks who do recreation around there. I'd also like to talk to the Lions, because they run the
Lions Park?
Lions Park, mini park, and talk to them about what feedback they've gotten about their park. A lot of the comments basically were the number of comments were the mini park is great for little kids, so we don't need to have little kid attractions in either at the Asher Legion section or at the Rockefeller section. But I do want to talk to them about what they wanted from the parks. So this will be something I'm going to continue to pursue over the course of the summer, but it was interesting, and we'll continue to make some changes. Definitely got some guidelines and some directions to choose.
Would Rockefeller or Asher Dam, either one fit into the definition of the pocket park? I don't know what.
I don't know what the definition of
I don't
pocket park
either.
is, because there are grants for
Because
such.
there's grants available right now for pocket park development.
I will look.
Usually pocket parks are flanked by a built environment. It's a distinctly urban concept. But I don't know how these grants are defining
Yeah, I don't
pocket
know
park,
the definition.
There's
but,
a residence on each side of the Rockefeller's pretty
Rockefeller, right.
small. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
I would
maybe
take- I would
Rockefeller
take a look.
might
I've not-
qualify?
yeah.
I'd call it a pocket park, but I don't know.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a
But there's
definition.
just, all I'm saying is there's money available
Okay,
now to address that. If you had planned that we could apply for,
I'll go take a look.
it'd be worth,
Well, even things like, some people were mentioning things like having some Adirondack chairs, just so people could come and sit and
sit.
look out at the water.
well, even access, because Rockefeller doesn't have any access to the water.
Well, that was a question that I'd like to continue to pursue, because some people felt that, and this has to do with the definition of what's quiet. Some people said, we don't want to have, some of the residents said, we don't want access because it's going to get noisy, and it's going to attract a lot of people. And there is access over at the, at the dock and at the Asher section, so.
For what, like swimming and canoeing or something?
For swimming and canoeing, all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. So
yeah.
you have that, and you can drive right up to the boat slide that's up at Asher, on the Asher side. You'd have to, if you wanted to put in a boat or do something else, you can't drive up there to do that.
Right.
So I think, again, water access would be strictly from,
Okay.
strictly from
Just a
that
thought,
side.
but I
Yeah.
would,
I'll go have
I
a take
would
a look at
love
it.
if you would look into
Sure.
since there's now new money that we could apply
Would
for.
love to.
Okay.
I'm also for a grant.
And
Could
also,
I-
just so you know, the comprehensive plan subcommittee on civic engagement and communication is working on the survey that we're gonna be developing and sending out as part of the comprehensive plan process. So if you wanna work with them at all on making sure that your questions around the parks are included in their questions on open space and parkland,
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah.
I'd love to, because I think,
Yeah.
as I said, there's quite a diversity of opinion, obviously.
Yeah.
But I really didn't feel like I was able to get a good, with this, go
Yeah.
around a good enough poll.
Well, and this is half their job, is making sure that we get as many responses to that survey as humanly possible.
Right.
Ideally, every single resident. So,
Good, okay, I'll be happy to piggyback on that.
yeah, exactly.
And Rick, on Saturday, we're hosting a youth workshop in collaboration with the Comp Plan and Climate Smart.
Okay,
And they're going to be doing kind of an urban planning and design workshop, and they're going to
Okay.
be looking at the parks. So if
Okay.
you want to come in the afternoon and kind of listen in,
yeah,
I'll send you the invite.
thank you. Thank you.
I just wanted to make a comment about, we lost the license because we only had a license and whatever, we lost the space in front of CVS, but, I did speak to Pastor Nan with the Methodist Church, and they might actually be interested in working with us if we have any needs for, for vehicular parking or for a pocket park or for
Oh,
a
wow.
venue or.
It's
Yeah,
funny,
this
because I
is-
pursued vehicle parking with them a while back and got nowhere.
Yeah, I specifically mentioned that to Pastor Nan, and
And I spoke to her about it.
yeah,
And
she
Have they
seemed interested. but-
Changed their mind? Maybe they've changed their mind?
Isn't it outside of the,
If we had a park behind the church, like a pocket area that we could sit or whatever between the church and the pastor residence or whatever it is on,
That'd be beautiful.
off of Livingston. It's
Sort
something-
of where all that Java had their coffee truck illegally for a little bit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're already opening up the white building for some kind of community uses and things like that.
That's
That-
what
Oh,
we're
that's
doing
right,
the
that's that like
workshop.
coffee
Oh, is
on
it in there? Okay.
Wednesday
That would be a
morning
beautiful
thing.
thing. I'd love to talk to them about
And,
that.
Yeah, that'd be
I
great.
heard the music is, there's something weird about the floor in the chapel itself, because it's like not flat or something, but I heard that the acoustics in there are fantastic.
It has a great stage.
Really?
Yeah.
Seems fantastic.
And you're-
All right, we got a lot to cover, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna move on.
so-
It's okay?
Sorry, I just wanted one warning, though. I mean, I certainly, when it comes to these things, one person comes to me and says, I have a great idea for parking. We'll use the Father Brunigan Center. And the next person looks at me and goes, if you put parking there, I will kill you. So, one person's
Everyone's
genius,
got
one
an
person's
opinion.
genius idea is the next person's nightmare.
Everyone's got an opinion.
Okay. Thank you, Rick. So more to come.
More to come, but I just wanted to give you a quick update.
All right, so we're going to go on. The next thing is vacation buyouts. We have a request, and employees are by number, and these all been vetted through by Karen so that we know that we can do it. Employee number 22 is requesting 80 hours of their time to buy out. I'd like to make a motion to approve employee number 22 for 80 hours.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I mean, it's kind of a moot point, we need to do it. Next is employee number 26, wants to buy out 100 hours, which they have available to them as well. And I'd like to make a motion to approve employee number 26 purchase of 100 hours.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And quick question, is this related to our policy that you can't carry over an unlimited number of hours upon retirement, that we put a cap to that?
In the union contract, it's 40 hours of comp time, that you can accrue 40 hours of comp time, and that's it. And then you can only carry over 40. So you can keep the 40 and carry over comp time. Vacation time, based on your years of service, is what is
But you can only carry over,
You can only carry over a maximum number of vacation days to your retirement days.
based on their years of service.
Right,
Yeah.
so basically they have to buy, people with lots of vacation time have to have their
Right.
time bought out.
yep,
So,
or use it.
and we encourage our people,
They earned
always,
it.
but just FYI, we always encourage everybody to take their vacation. Vacation is a valuable tool. It keeps everybody healthy and sane.
Burning out.
And so, yeah, against burnout. So we do encourage people to do it, but if they haven't, this option's there. All right. Special music requests. We have a request from the Rhinebeck Area Chamber by Carolyn Burnett to bring back what they had done the previous 2 years, which is music on market. So it's live music in the village. It's three-piece ensemble with vocals and community members for everybody to everybody enjoy. The date is still TBD, but they're looking for running every other weekend, starting June 11th through October 8th, on Friday evenings or Saturday afternoons. The setup time would be at 5 PM, on Saturdays 12 PM, and tear down on Fridays would be 7:30, and on Saturday afternoons, it would be 3 PM.
Where?
And they're doing this at the entrance to the Rhinebeck Bank Plaza, which is
Oh,
on
okay.
the description, where they had it for the last 2 years, so they're not taking up any of the sidewalk space or other space. And this has been approved by the bank for them to do.
Okay.
So they walked in.
Great.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve music on market for third year in a row.
Second.
Thank you, Rick. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Next item, minutes approval. We're going to take a bye on the minutes approval because unfortunately, we did not get them out to you to read. So you didn't miss anything.
That is me.
You didn't miss anything.
Oh, I knew that.
523 too.
Yeah, I know.
Perfect.
All right, so this will be on the 23rd. We will readdress our minutes approval. Okay? Treasurer's report, Karen.
Okay, treasurer's report is for the period ending April 30th. The general fund ended the month with $232,102.03. The water fund ended the month with $146,958.09. And the sewer fund ended the month with $450,757.14. Vouchers presented for payment, including prepaids in the general fund, total $100,880.48. In the water fund, $36,359.68. In the sewer fund, $29,871.43. We had some bills from the Frost Grant that totaled $9,227, and some payments from escrow totaling $2,862.50. An operating statement is provided with the revenue and expenditures through May 10th. Unpaid water and sewer past due bills prior to March 31st will be re-levied on village taxes. The tax cap, we are under the 2% tax cap, and the tax cap has been filed with the Comptroller's Office. The constitutional tax margin has also been filed with the submission of the 22-23 village budget to the Comptroller's Office as well. The tax warrant has been sent to Dutchess County for the preparation of the tax bills. Water and wastewater billing and adjustments are signed off by Trustee Nuniker and presented for authorization.
I'd like to make a motion to get the changes to the water and wastewater bills as presented.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and lastly, I have a few budget amendments. In the building department, we want to move $4,600 from salaries to building supplies to allocate the unused salary for the office, for the building office. In the tree revenue and then the tree frost grant, just to allocate the frost grant from the revenue to the expense in the amount of $30,000. In the street equipment, the new truck, I do not anticipate that they do not anticipate that will be delivered by May 31st. So I'm going to request to transfer the $100,049 from that line item to the capital streets bank account and hold that until the truck is delivered. So we don't have to close it out and encumber it, we'll just move it out before the end of the fiscal year.
So right now, we're anticipating July, just so everybody knows, for the new dump truck.
And then when that is delivered, we'll kind of refresh everyone's memory because we did talk about using a part of that from fund balance, which will be a part of that from next year's fund balance. But as soon as we get the truck and have the exact cost, we'll itemize all that out. Fire department equipment, similar situation, requesting to decrease that by $15,000 and move that to the capital fire for equipment that will not be delivered this fiscal year.
Seems to be a theme.
I know, sometimes, it's easier to kind of move it this way than to try and either hold the books open or encumber it and do
No,
it
just
that
the
way.
delays in equipment, that was.
Although I prefer to not have many of these and try and just finish our year and everyone's, get their bills in by May 31st. In the water fund, the state aid, the energy grant that we received for $5,000 for a pump that also has not been delivered yet. I'm just requesting to put that in the capital water so we don't lose that and we don't lose track of that funding.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the amendments as presented.
Second.
Thank you, Lydia. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's it.
Very good, thank
These
you.
equipment delays.
Okay, we're going to go on. Police report. The police report is for the month of April. Total number of incidents in the town, 24. Total number of incidents in the village were 80. Total tickets issued in town was 5. Total tickets in the village, 38. Total number of arrests were 1. Total number of accidents were 7. The police did provide extra coverage for the fish stocking event, which right after that we had a major storm. I don't know how that all went with the fish, but it was good. Still see people out there taking advantage of that. And they've also assisted in the brush pickup on the main thoroughfares to manage traffic. For the details on each one of the ticket summaries, you can refer to the cloud, and all that information is available and posted there for you. Building, planning, and zoning.
Building, planning, and zoning, that office took in $4,925 in April. Ken McLaughlin filed the annual required report at the end of March, I believe, which is always exciting when that happens. And I think, we're working on a fee update, the update to the fee schedule, which will be presented to the public and to the board on May 23rd. We need to get it done by June 1st. That's all I have.
Thank you. Highway.
Okay. The highway department has been out doing brush pickup both on the north and the south side of the street. Brush pickup has been ongoing, but that is going to end as of the end of this week. Basically, the department for the next the 16th through the 30th, will be preparing the village for Memorial Day Parade. So we ask that folks don't put their piles out starting the last day would be on the 13th, this Friday. Then after Memorial Day, the alternate side of the village schedule will start. So I want to make sure people knew that. The department also has been out emptying the big bellies, delivering mulch. They've been trying to control the geese at the park. They helped us open the valves on Asher Dam for a couple of rainstorms. They've started mowing, weeding. The loaner truck to Poughkeepsie was returned, and that's the truck that eventually that we're going to receive. We'll be replacing that. The department dug 22 holes for the spring tree planting. There'll be more on that. They picked up garbage in the muni lot, fixed and added signs, and an oldie but goodie, they had to get the septic pumped because of the flood.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, remember, they used to flood every month.
We
and
used
it
to
doesn't do
clean
that
it out
anymore.
once a month. It
Yeah.
was terrible.
And now, but the water was basically up to the door, so it just did all.
Was it really?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I got pictures.
No
There was a
kidding.
lake behind the building, yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really, really.
It did not get into the building, but it was literally
It was right there.
It's
right
only
to the
a
doors.
matter of time.
And so that inundated the tank, but they pumped it out and it's all fine
Yeah.
again.
Okay.
I feel like it's something to think about.
Okay, thank you, Rick. Water Department.
So, the big news is we got the $3 million grant for the equipment upgrade.
Yay.
To that end, and it's a 60% grant, so it's from the EFC, Environmental Facilities Corporation, so we would have 40%, where we pay 40%. And we sat with the guys to define the scope, and I said, well, I really want to come in around 5 million, and so they gave me an engineering proposal for Delaware. I'm going to bring this to you on the meeting of May 23rd, because we're still working on it. But basically, we should really use Delaware to do all the design, and because they've already done the preliminary design work, so it's just gonna, they're obviously have the expertise, they came up with the innovative ideas to upgrade the plant, and so I will be asking you to approve this professional services agreement in a couple weeks. Just so you know where we're at, it's for all those items that came out on that engineering report that we went over about a year ago, it would be $390,000 for design, 25 for preliminary engineering phase, which is a little more detailed than what they've already done, and then 10,000 for bidding. So we're still under 10%.
But just to remind everybody, we originally proposed for, what was it, 6,100,000?
Close to 6 million.
6,156,000 or something.
Right.
Thousand like
To
that.
that end, a lot of
Yeah.
those things are redundant, so it's like when we start doing the engineering, we're gonna find out, oh, we're going down this path instead of this path. So some of the items will come off, and it should be under 5 million.
Great.
So,
Wastewater.
I don't have much for wastewater. Did we get the truck yet? What was it, the Ranger?
No, Brian is getting back to them, he's doing a factory order, so
Oh, it wasn't one on a lot?
So, no, we have to reapprove this because what was presented 2 months back
Yeah,
was not a real truck. It was not a real truck. It was just a pricing based on a truck if you wanted to buy. So there was no truck to go out and purchase. So when Brian comes forward with a truck with a spec and a VIN number that we can purchase, we can now move
yeah, I
forward.
knew it didn't have vehicle number, but I thought that was a hard
No,
figure.
no,
As Gary said, there was no vehicle.
Okay.
It was just-
yeah. So we couldn't, and it wasn't even fleet pricing, it was just a hypothetical bid.
Right.
And that's really all it was a hypothetical bid.
Oh, well.
I think he has since been working with, I forget the company, but he has since been working with a company on a state bid, on an actual state bid truck. But
So we will,
we're not
we
quite
will
ready for that.
remove our motion on the other truck and vote for the new truck when he comes forward.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't have any, we're still trying to get that paving done at the Amsterdam. You know, Briggs said that they would do it in April, and it's hard to get anybody to do anything right now,
Man.
So
so.
what do we do here? We want to get this done before the end of the fiscal year. And also, we have a client who we agreed to wants it done as soon as possible.
Well, yeah, I talk to them weekly.
Can the
about-
town help?
Well, that's what well, this is a big one, so I don't know if,
It was a $6,000 bid.
yeah, I don't know if we can do it. Maybe maybe the town could.
I mean, it's a
We
hot-
can't do it.
It's a hot patch,
No, we
right?
can't do
We
it
don't have
because
the
it's too
equipment to
big.
do
Yeah.
I mean,
It's asphalt or concrete?
Asphalt, blacktop.
maybe we could ask the town if they can help.
Well, I did talk to I talked to him today about it, and he said, I'll call him again and see.
Yeah.
They promised him in the winter that it would be one of the first projects they would do.
Maybe we'll have to move more.
They only
money to
get,
capital.
the town does patching like we do patching, but the paver that they get, this is in between patching and paving.
Yeah, it's a long trench.
Yeah, so it's,
They have Mr. Wavy still?
what?
They have their old paver?
The problem is it's too small for a paver,
Okay.
Yeah.
but too big for
Oh,
patching,
got it.
Okay.
right? It's in between there, and, you know, our
We'll
client.
get it done.
Goldilocks.
But did the board already approve the contractor to do it?
Yeah, we prepaid it, remember? We prepaid Briggs.
We did?
Yes, we
I think
did,
we
because
have.
that was a stipulation of them accepting the bid.
I think we gave the $2,500.
Yeah.
though.
We gave a deposit.
Right, but I think we got it back because.
Oh,
I'll check.
check on that, because,
But remember we called 6 people.
I know.
And they were the only ones interested.
that was last year, I
Yeah,
know.
I know, but I don't want to, punt their bid or anything.
But if we got the money back, we now don't have leverage over them either.
Yeah.
Well, let me just see what I can do before the meeting on May
23rd.
20th.
All right, thank you.
It'll be a long agenda.
Vanessa,
Sorry.
Environmental.
Okay, just a couple updates. I presented at Rhinebeck at Home today, which was fun, about recycling and food scrap recycling. And the village compost pilot is going well. Sorry, my computer just shut off. And we will have an intern starting June 1st that will also be working on the maps with water and wastewater, the GIS project. So he'll be shared, one intern, many projects.
Great.
So we're keeping him busy,
Perfect.
he doesn't have to get a different job, which is great.
We have
Plenty of stuff for him to do.
Just so everybody knows, we approved this in turn when we went through the budget process.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah.
it's already there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not,
That's right.
yeah.
Gary and I went down to Marist and had a meeting with their Center for Civic Engagement, and talked about the ongoing work we've been doing with Marist environmental science students and their computer science students. So that was great. And the NRI project is done. I do want to book a workshop. I think it has to be a public meeting if we all want to go, just to get a walk through the Flex Tech study of Village Hall. So maybe we could do that in June. And Martina, I'll work with you on that.
Can they present to a meeting?
What we can do, and the planning board does this all the time, if they're just gonna like walk us through the building, that doesn't have to be a public meeting, as long as we promise not to discuss
business.
what they're like, as long as we promise not to have a conversation about it.
It's a site visit.
It's like a site visit, like what the planning board does. So,
I'm not sure if it's a walk through the building. I think it's more of a walk through of the.
oh, okay,
report.
well, in that case, whatever.
Yeah, it's fine. If the public
Yeah,
wants to see
if
it.
that's I was just sort of thinking about a
should,
public meeting
because,
with people
you know,
following us around with the bathrooms, you know.
It'd be good for the public to know what this
And
building
then
needs.
this duct, I don't know.
Allow somebody in the
We need to
basement.
get a cover on those lamps.
Yeah. I'm sure it will be a fascinating meeting. Yeah, I don't have anything else pressing.
Very good, thank you.
The rest of my report is on the cloud.
Could I say something about the mapping? As far as the old maps, we have them up at the water department. We have the water map, the physical map that Heinz Sauer did, I believe he did all that. And then we have wastewater and we have the storm drain map. And they're really complete, even though they're on physical map with hand drawings on it. But if you guys ever want to take a gander, it's pretty.
Are they the
Pretty
only
cool.
comes of we have of them?
No.
No, there's
we
some in
have
the planning
copies.
office.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. We have the storm drain one? I thought that was,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, no, we started using it because of that hole on,
yeah.
over by the cemetery.
It doesn't show the upstream and downstream, but,
You can kind of figure it out.
We have an intern for that, don't we?
well, this could, you know,
Stick them in the pipe.
this is a cross-reference for the intern.
Right.
He can go in there and look at this and say, oh, yeah, there's that manhole, or.
Yeah.
So cool.
Oh, one more thing I just wanted to add, a reminder to the public, we are gonna start taking payments at the EV charging station starting June 1st. So that will be going into effect. Lydia and I talked about maybe putting up some temporary signs, maybe just for the season, saying this is new, expect to pay. But really, I don't think we need additional permanent signage describing the fees, because you encounter the fees just when you're interacting with the charging station in the app on your phone. And that way it would give us flexibility if we need to change something, we don't have to keep redoing physical signs. Everybody good with that? Right.
Yes. You have to see it on the app to be able to hook up.
It
so.
probably says it's charge, it says on the app, probably says
Yeah.
it's a pay station.
Yeah, yeah.
It does.
It's not a surprise.
Yeah. Okay, fire report is for the month of April as well. There was 87 fire EMS calls. They have another member enrolled in the New York State Fire Police class, as well as another one enrolled in firefighter 1, which is all goodness, the training.
Yeah, great.
Okay? Tree Commission.
Okay, Tree Commission, we have some, actually lots of good news. The Village of Rhinebeck for the 11th straight year has been designated a Tree City USA. So we're getting up there, we're doing a good job. And one of the reasons why we are a Tree City USA is because of the event that we had on April 30th. And on April 30th, we had an enormous, a wonderful turnout of volunteers, and 20 trees were planted here on East Market Street, all in an effort to create a nice green visual entrance into the building. It was a tremendous act of dedication and organization on behalf of the Tree Commission members. I will have a full list of everybody who participated at the next meeting, but it was a beautiful day, a terrific event. If you're driving up and down East Market Street and you notice there are new trees that are staked out, they have gators around them, that was all the labor of volunteers, all village residents and volunteers. So that's just a terrific, terrific event, and we'll be doing it again in the fall. The commission also had one action item for the board. There was a permit for tree pruning at 24 Center Street. The commissioners went out, looked at the tree. They agreed the tree could use pruning, but it's in such shape that actually, if the homeowner wanted to remove it, they would be okay with the removal too. So I would like to make a motion that the board accepts the tree commission's recommendation that the tree at 24 Center Street should be at best removed or at least pruned by a insured arborist. So,
Second.
thank you.
Yeah.
Any discussion on it? All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, that's the tree commission.
Very good, thank you. An update on the Autism Supportive Committee. The Autism Supportive Committee proposed to have a Rhinebeck Community Job Fair on May 23rd. A lot happening on that day, but it'll be from 10 to 2. And it's in cooperation with the Chamber and the Pavilion at Brookmead to hold this job fair. And the reason the Autism Committee went forward with doing this is because we felt there was a need now that there's 1 in 44 people who have identified on the spectrum, there's a job market there to be able to have those people employed. And working with our community, we felt there was a terrific asset that we have to be able to host a job fair. It's not just limited to those on the spectrum. The job fair is open to anybody. It's open to all the businesses who are in the chamber. And thank you for the pavilion for giving us all the room that we need for free to use to host this job fair. And the Autism Committee then will also host what they're calling a relaxation room. And that's open to everybody, but as in a relaxation room, you can go if you're having a sensory overload or you just need time to prepare. You can go to the relaxation room and prepare. There'll be job tips in there to help you navigate through the process. The Autism Committee will also have a table there which will guide people and help those who want direction or support to be able to help them, and we'll be staffing it with trained people at that table. So all in all, we're already getting this, already been advertised by the chamber. We posted it out already. There's been many, many businesses within the village and town who have applied, including even major businesses like the hospital, who will be using the space at the pavilion. The chamber is really the kind of the advertising agent for this, and they're charging a $25 fee for those residents or those businesses who want to be able to make use and reserve a table. Obviously, there's no fee for any applicants, and it's open to anybody to come. Anderson Center has used their network to advertise this out in their network to also encourage people that they deal with on a day-to-day basis. So again, it's Monday, May 23rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Pavilion at Brookmead, which is at 34 Brookmead Drive in Rhinebeck. If you need more or you want to have places where you need information, please let me know, and we could be happy to get this as much circulation as we possibly can, right? Because it's not only good for our businesses, but good for school kids, people on the spectrum, and everybody to be able to come out and apply. We've heard the demand is high for people at businesses to come and work, so we're hoping this will help them do that. So the Autism Committee is sponsoring this in cooperation with them. That's it.
Great.
Okay. We're at the end.
2 hours, huh?
2 hours.
I'd like to make a motion
Wow.
Yo.
to adjourn our village board meeting for May 10th, 2022 at 8:02 p.m.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 2 hours.